It's Brainwash with Dr. Tom, guitar picks with Brad Reaves out of Brown Summit, North Carolina. We've asked Brad to compose a list of 20 influence songs. Brad, can you tell us how you came up with your list?
Well, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, because after I started thinking about all of the different styles that I've played over the years, I wanted to try to represent a little bit of everything. And so I just started generating a list, and it was about 50 tunes. And then I sort of started whittling that down, and then I got down to about 30, and then I had to whittle those down, which really hurt to cut some of them. And of course there are some on this list that should be on there more than once, because they played for so long that their styles changed, and I learned from their new styles. But so it is. That's how I came up with my 20.
Okay, onto the list. George Harrison, Day Tripper.
Nothing but a classic, great guitar lick by one of the best-known sidemen in the industry, George Harrison. Of course, this guy gets hooked up with two of the best songwriters of pop music of the last century, and sits there and pumps out these guitar licks that are great. And I think the thing I learned from him was he pulled from a lot of different genres, and he stayed out of the way of the song, basically. He dressed it. He played in the right places. He played extremely tastefully and had a lot of technique, but the technique never overshadowed the music that he played. I attribute the Beatles to really being the ones that rang the bell first for me, and those guys drew from traditional blues, American black, hardcore R&B, straight-ahead 50s rock and roll, Nashville and West Coast based hardcore country music. Mm-hmm. And so they were pulling from a lot of genres, and it all basically though became them with that pop sensibility that they had.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when you started playing guitar?
It was about the 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been about 15.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying George was sort of played a very supporting role to both Paul and John as far as the music that they created together?
Yeah, I think that they were the epitome of a band. Each one of those four guys brought their own personality to the group, and had any of the four been someone else, it would have been a completely different band, and might not have been they might not have done what they did do. But Harrison, it was almost like you didn't know he was there in a sense, because he was so there. He mm-hmm. stayed out of the way of the songs, and I think what I learned from him was how to play a guitar lick on a song and keep the song out front, because those guys were songwriters, and those guitar licks he got from all over the place. It was obvious that he was a student of American music for sure.
Mm-hmm.